There we are.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting for November 26th to order. And first, we will go over the minutes. Does anybody want to make a motion for the minutes of November 12th?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Except my spelling.
I know, I fixed it.
Sorry. That's all right. Did you see my spelling that I sent?
a moment.
I sent you Janet. I said, not a problem, Janet Fairchild, but that's wrong spelling.
Okay, do we have permits to sign also?
We do. We also have, Jim and I could not locate, you guys signed this back in April, and it was a change for, no, not April, August, I'm sorry.
Just as bad.
I know. The amendment for Cooper Farm where they, in this corner, reduced 2 lots to 1 lot, reduced a couple of lots here, and it had already been recorded. So I have on the back, you'll see where you signed on this, but to record the deed, we need your signatures on this piece. So that's in addition to these permits that you guys can sign.
Okay.
You can sign that if you want. You do signatures.
Yeah, give this back to you so you can sign it.
I'm sorry?
Jim hasn't signed these?
Oh, interesting. I didn't look, he just handed them to me. He was a little bit out of sorts today. I'll get his signature before.
Oh, thanks.
It looks like he signed this one, but not these two.
Yeah, and he didn't for tonight's either. All of them till next Tuesday when he comes back into the office. He had pie on his mind.
Hmm?
He had pie on his mind.
Had to make pie or buy pie?
Yeah, was he?
No, he makes pies.
He's an amazing guy.
He made a pumpkin cheesecake last night. Mm-hmm.
Did he bring you in any?
No,
Jeez.
no.
Is there a question from one of the guys about a D-box?
He just wanted to know if I had it.
Oh,
sitting there.
okay.
The other thing, under administrative matters, is I did bring based on all of your comments, a sample application for the portable toilets for you guys to review. And then Jim did look through it, and his only comment was that we should keep a copy with each new building permit, because a lot of the contractors use porta potties on the sites.
That's a good idea.
Just until people get used to the fact that we now have these permits. And at the bottom, I wasn't sure whether you were planning on there being a fee or not. We've never discussed that. We talked about the application. But the application piece that you folks chose did have the section at the bottom for the fee and a check number.
It's taking up office resources, so it should probably be
Yeah, if you have to work.
So you discuss what you think is.
Like a $25 fee.
Sure.
How much?
25?
25? Well, should we vote?
Make a motion for $25 for the porta potty, the portable toilet temporary permits. $25.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Before-
Aye.
Before I say aye, if it's not only for one, no matter how many they have, 25, that's it. You can't charge it for every one, $25,
Okay.
okay?
No, just for
If
one,
they
just for the
have-
For the
permit.
permit.
Yeah, for the permit. They can
Yeah.
have 6,
Mhm.
7. You gotta be
Yeah.
fair, you know?
Okay.
Don't look at me with those eyes.
All right.
You gotta be fair.
And do you want to vote on whether
Yeah,
you like
You
this?
like
Or
this?
do you want any changes?
I think it's pretty good. You got a good job. It's got everything.
And I did check, Mike, you had asked about the location, and that is up to the septic hauler. But I did use the piece where you have the little sketch.
Yep. Good.
Sorry.
Make a motion to adopt the application as presented.
I'll second.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh.
At the bottom here, it says, "A permit will be issued by the Board of Health after inspection and written approval." Is that Jim going to be inspecting it?
No, you wanted them to come, to have to come
One of
to you folks and look at the application and approve it, and they got a 2-week.
I thought it meant inspecting the installation.
No, just inspecting this.
Okay, okay. All right, so, did we second that?
I'll second it, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Does anybody have comments, member comments?
I do not.
We're all caught up.
I guess the state passed the no flavors?
It's now at the governor's office, I believe. I haven't heard that he's
Yeah,
signed
past
it.
the Senate's
Oh,
office.
Boston did though.
Yeah,
Boston did.
Yeah.
Boston did,
Mhm.
not Massachusetts, or,
Okay. And any correspondence?
Just what's on your sheet.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just wait a minute for 7:10.
Who's on first?
Something that was brought up at the ZBA meeting the other night, I guess the high school is doing a financial fair on April 15th. I don't know if anybody has high school students, but apparently a study was done, and the average 25-year-old is $10,000 in debt with credit cards on top of student loans.
Oh, credit cards.
So they're doing some big fair to try and get basic financial
knowledge.
knowledge passed down, so just as a
Interesting.
FYI.
So students are supposed to go,
I'm
or
not,
just the general public, or?
it's just a fair, I don't know, I'm sure the high school website has more information, but
I'm sure parents will want to know because that means their house is going to fill up again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that. Okay, 7:10, 20 Fort Pond Road.
that's fine, thank you.
If you want to bring that board closer, you can. That tribe, whatever that thing's called.
Bring that board over here. Let's put this one up first.
That's like perfect right there. See the TV, see the TV.
It's on the TV and everything. Oh, these have been zooming in.
I know, I saw that.
Good evening, my name's Steve Sears from David Ross Associates.
Jeff Corman, I'm the prospective buyer. Now winning the sale.
And we're here tonight in regards to Lawrence Castanegato. This is 24 Pond Hill Road. It's an existing house with a failing system right in here. Can you see that, Gino?
Yeah, thank you.
So what we designed is a new Presby system. We did the appropriate testing, and this one here, the only problem is the lot's so small, as you can see. We've had to do a retaining wall with a poly barrier on the downhill side and on the two sides there. This side here, we've left open. Existing tank is here, leach field is in here, and our proposed septic tank is here with the distribution box and the Presby system in
You got a
here.
Presby, right?
Yeah, we couldn't fit a traditional stone and pipe.
Yeah.
It's a 3-bedroom house, town water. And that's,
Small lot, right?
yeah, let me go through the list of variances, and then I'm gonna show you the retaining wall design that we've had.
Is there a full basement?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
How far is that tank from the house?
How far is it from,
The tank from the house?
the tank is 26 feet.
Can you kick it 6 feet closer and eliminate the need for some of that retaining wall?
Not really, because if we bring that system any closer uphill, the retaining wall gets higher and higher. As we come up on the slope,
Uh-huh.
or offset from the groundwater, the retaining wall will be higher and higher. So what we've done is try to maximize the height of the wall.
Right. But you're looking at putting that 5 feet from the property line, and you have 6 feet to play with.
It only has to be 6 feet from the house.
It's gotta be 20 feet with
from
a
the
full
house.
basement.
The system itself from the house is,
I'm not sure the material,
yeah.
the material that you need is in that upper part
Right.
of the property.
We've got
It's
outcropping of-
Closer to the house,
Ledge.
so it changes
Is
to
it
a...
I'm not sure if it's ledge, but it's sticking out of the ground. I think it's boulders.
Did you test it?
No, I didn't.
I've dug into that.
Oh,
I
that's right.
dug a small test pit up where the existing septic tank between the new proposed area, and it's still
Right there, yeah.
fairly rocky, down to 3 feet, so I didn't find any of the cleaner sands that Steve ran into further down towards the slope.
And that's, again, that's why we're down there, is because of the sand material. If we come back up this way, then the system just gets huge, bigger and bigger with if we had a slow perk rate. So we're trying to,
What'd you get for a perk?
2 minutes per inch.
You want a slower one.
I know, well, couldn't help that. It's all
Should try.
sand down there. so.
Save you a lot of money.
So the variances that we're here for tonight are your regulations 23, 27, proposed retaining walls and fill to be 10 feet off of property lines. The proposed walls and the fill are shown to be 5 feet off the property lines, which meet Title V. Regulation 29, outlet T-filter. An outlet T-filter is not allowed with a gravity Presby system. The use of the existing roof vent is required with the Presby. So your regulations call for an outlet T-filter. And Presby doesn't allow them with their system because it would block off the flow of air. And so the flow of air does come through the roof vent anyways. And then the local upgrade approval, 15.405, 1H, local upgrade approval, Presby system allows allows a 3-foot groundwater offset with the 2-minute soil for remedial use, reduction of the system offset from estimated high groundwater. We're requesting from a 5-foot offset to the 3-foot offset with the Presby. Again, keeping the system down at least 2 minutes because of the 2-minute soil. Let me show you this one now. You got all that? This is basically the same, it's a larger scale, but it shows the proposed retaining wall drawn by a structural engineer. I don't believe he's here tonight, right?
What's that?
This engineer's not here
He's
tonight.
not here, nice. He's up in New Hampshire.
Yeah, he's from New Hampshire. Name is Jeffrey Benway. And what he's done is taken our plan, superimposed his wall on there, because all, we just show retaining wall, like the blocks. So he's done the same wall and the same footprint, and this is all his design work here.
He's using a recon
Oh,
block
shoot, yeah.
as opposed to the square Caniglio blocks, so it's more of an engineered interlocking structure.
I mean, I appreciate the Presby design. I like it. I still think you should try and kick it 6 feet closer to the house and maybe even get the 2-foot groundwater reduction.
EE.
Hold on, Gino.
I'm sorry. Who's
Kevin's talking. Kevin is,
Sorry, Kevin.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry. Talk a little louder, will you?
I still think you should try and kick it 6 feet closer, try and get the 2-foot groundwater offset, eliminate the need for some of that wall, if not all of it, and I don't like the wall within 10 feet of the property line.
With the system being in closer with the materials, the soils there being more of an ablation till, would they cause us to have a bigger system? footprint?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, your field there is so far, you got, how, on the side of that system, you must have like 15 feet to the wall, and you're 10 feet on the backside, I
It
see.
is about
you mean
10.
from here to there?
No,
No, on the other, and down.
Left and right.
around the wall,
From here.
around
Right,
the
right.
leach field to the wall.
10 feet.
Well, I'm not sure how, I mean, we'd have to retest it with Jim, and,
I mean, I think it's going to be, you're gonna be much better off.
if we
Save you
If
about
we ran into that and
$1,000.
if we ran into that and the perk, if we had a problem with the perk rate and we couldn't fit a new system up there because of the perk rate,
We'd work with you to make sure it's
Come
something,
back to the
something would
system.
work, but I just
Okay.
think we should make the best effort on the first shot,
well, that's up to the board.
Yeah.
What about turning it
Well,
lengthwise?
the system has to go with the contours if this is the side slope going down.
Oh, okay.
And we try to put a system going up here,
Right.
the thing would be like 20 feet out of the ground on one end and try to go with the contours of the.
I guess,
Could I, want to get the benefit of Jim's?
in a butters?
yes. Oh, are there any abutters here?
Yeah, I own all 3 sides of it. Larry Castagneto.
Did you sign in, sir?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I was the first.
Okay. Do you have any comments or questions?
No, I'm totally supportive of what they've laid out. Access to the property is tight, really tight, and I don't have any problem with them utilizing my property for construction or storage purposes. And, as I say, it's a tough little site, it really is. It's very tight, and to stuff something in there that will satisfy, the property layout and the house layout isn't easy. And this is what they've had to go through, and I'm totally supportive of what they've come up with today.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, Mike, will you read Jim's comments, please?
Sure. This is regarding 24 Pond Hill Road. The sewage disposal system at this site has failed a Title V inspection. Soil testing was conducted and an area was found for the installation of a new system. The site has constraints that make it very difficult to design a system in compliance with your regulation, meaning the town regulation, and Title V, small size, lot size, and sloping land. The applicant is proposing to replace the system to the rear of the property to avoid site grading issues to abutting properties and the existing house. Because of the sloping land and the seasonal high water table, the leaching area will be raised and the fill necessary to meet the breakout requirements in Title V can't be met. The applicant is thus proposing the use of a retaining wall and impervious barrier, but the wall, barrier, and the fill will be within 10 feet of the lot lines. In order to reduce the fill needed, and therefore the height of the retaining wall, the applicant is also requesting a reduction of the groundwater offset from 5 feet to 3 feet. In conjunction with the use of a Presby system, DEP allows the board to grant this reduction. The design and requests are reasonable and will allow for the installation of a far more compliant system. The abutting property should not be adversely affected by the wall and fill installation. I don't see a problem with granting the requested local upgrade approvals and variances, but I would recommend the following conditions. The applicant needs to provide the board with a retaining wall design plan stamped by a Massachusetts PE. And that PE will need to certify the construction of the wall.
So you said he was from New Hampshire.
I believe he does work in Massachusetts, so he must have, I'm hoping he has
What's
a
his
stamp.
stamp
It says it on his stamp right there.
Oh, it says Commonwealth of Mass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He just lives in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gino, did you have a comment?
No, I'd like to make a motion to approve it because I don't see any problem.
Okay, does anyone want to second that?
Just had a question. Would you consider Kevin's suggestion at all, or to save yourself some money, or do you
Well,
want to?
the issues there would be what happens to the grade when you bring it up closer to the house. I mean, at this point, the grades rise about a foot in the back, so you're getting close to you're burying some of the windows in the
Well,
entrance. So if you
yeah.
had to bring the system in closer, I'd be afraid the grades might have to go higher
Well,
there,
You're
much
right.
higher than they do now.
Actually, if we do any testing here, if it's a slower perk rate than we had here, which probably would be, the system would be bigger and we'd have retaining walls anyways. The retaining walls would probably come up further this way, and because the system would be much bigger, we still wouldn't catch the fill and grade. So we're gonna ask for retaining walls no matter what we do for testing, because the lot's just too small. This kind of gives you a deceiving picture of the size of the system. Actually, the 20 scale system right there, you can see how it's only 90 feet frontage and 87 feet in the back, so we could do that, but I think we'd be right back here with a bigger system and still have retaining walls, if you'd be, so, unfortunately, I don't know. How,
The only other issue I really have is this timing, which is, of course,
Yeah, I don't think we
everything-
should make you waste any more time. It's just going to be,
We're running into winter.
exactly. So does anyone want to second Gino's motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
Nay. Okay.
Good luck.
Okay,
okay?
thank you for
Thank
coming
you
Do
in.
the best you can, okay?
Thank you.
What is?
Can you give me the green cards? Thanks for your time again.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Okay, next up, we have 3 Pickard Lane. That's the only problem with that, is I can't see those.
Brian Farmer, Northeast Environmental Engineering out of Danvers. They did that extra.
Colors.
Yeah, just to make it.
Nice.
Direct your
Take
attention.
your eye.
Sorry.
You want to
put them up there?
And this is the one I have multiple colors. So. Usually I'll put
Did you ever design that?
It's upside down?
Did he give you a design?
I think it's upside down. That's what he has.
It is,
You want it like-
Which way you want to read it?
well, the
same
easy
way.
way.
The same way we're all gonna read it.
Yeah.
I already got it, that's good.
Is this right on the corner?
It's on the corner, right, yeah. My AutoCAD person, this is the current design layout, but this is Great Road and this is Picard Lane. It was on a different version, so it is a corner lot if you see here.
Yep.
This is Picard Lane and Great Road. I guess it's Route 2A.
2A, yeah.
Yeah, this is a subdivision, I believe, in the 1950s, 59, and
No time, maybe.
the soils, they're excellent soils, the coarse grained sands underneath, but the perk rate is less than 2 minutes an inch. And I get, we're trying, there's an existing cesspool here, which is in failure, it's on the groundwater.
Right, right.
And this front area, that's the area available with a 10-foot lot line setback and 20 feet back from the foundation. This is the 20-foot setback from the foundation. This is a slab construction, so that's a 10-foot line setback, and then we're back to 20 feet off because this is the dwelling unit. It's a full basement. So this yellow line is the setback from the dwelling. 10-foot setback.
What's the orange line?
Excuse me, sir?
What's the orange line?
Okay, so this is what the plan before, Jim, I tried to do a gravity design, right, and it would be a 2-foot groundwater separation, even using an innovative system. And even though I think it's, within your authority to grant that, if you wanted to, which is not being requested, the way the inverts are in the house, so I'm really requesting a 3-foot groundwater separation. So that's a pump chamber. And these purple lines would be the grading, finished grading as being proposed. The gyms are still under review.
So 3-to-1 from the pink to the orange.
Exactly. Well, this is the property line. Let's say, if we did a 5-foot groundwater separation, the orange, if the way the test fits, well, we could spin it still a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah.
the grade would go into this property. So if even if I move the whole design forward, but what I'm trying to say is would be grading into the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
What's the perk rate?
Less than 2 minutes an inch.
Wow.
It's great soil. None of the abutting properties have raised systems. Not saying there was any error or anything. It's, all these sites are different, out there. Sometimes you get some, so, the observed water was at 75 inches in test pit 2. And the other one was at 70, observed at 72. I would hope, I'm a soil evaluator, I would think 14 inches higher than that with the coarse grain sands, but which only would have been a 1-foot difference but you do have these major rain events that, so you can get a real high, an absolute high versus an average high. But anyway, so it was called at 44 inches, and
Who called it? You called it?
I didn't
Jim?
call it.
Jim called
Well,
it?
Jim witnessed Stephen Sears, Mr. Stephen Sears, who called.
What was that? You were just here?
That's who, I got involved through a general contractor.
Okay.
The new owner really doesn't want, he doesn't want a mound in our backyard if
Yeah.
she can avoid it. And I said, well, there is some innovative, we can look at it. And that's where the avenue I'm approaching this. This is a pump chamber. And so if the board is willing, if Jim, reviewed, to go with a 3-foot groundwater separation. Now, this is using the Elgin technology. It's similar, I shouldn't say it's similar to the Presby Environmental. Some people think there's a 2.5 to a 3-inch advantage. So when I was going for the gravity flow, which I would have preferred, I only could meet 2-foot groundwater separation, even using just a straight trench design. So I don't think the board probably versus some of the innovative technologies to get it a foot higher than that, if the board would consider it, because it really does reduce the organic loading and treatment as the water returns to the groundwater.
What
So-
the Elgin does?
Yeah, so it's similar. It's textile sand filtered. That's where so the textile's on top.
Like a geomat?
Is it, yeah, is it a geomat?
GM.
Geomat.
Geomat. Well, it's a little different. It is a geomat.
Is it geomat?
I don't know if it's the same manufacturer, but it's very similar because it's perforated pipe. It's a prefab. It's like 12 inches long, and the structure of their design, they think it adds more aeration capability. So you get more aeration treatment, more advanced treatment, and then.
Are there any wells in the area?
Excuse me.
Are there any wells in the area?
Or town water?
It's city
Town
water.
water, you have town water, right?
Town water. Town water's here. This is the gas line. On some older plans, I don't know what was this one. So I put this is how it was marked out recently. But, there's no private wells that I'm aware of.
Okay. I mean, usually with a perk rate, it's 2 minutes an inch. It's kind of fast, and they like to see it at 3 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we kept coming out of the ground over here as a design, and then, so it'd be more fill over here. It just wasn't gonna pick up the internal
Is
plumbing.
this, whose is this, Jim?
I can,
You couldn't raise that plumbing?
Oh, okay.
I did, it was all considered.
Yeah.
So this comes out like 3 feet below ground grade, the sewer to the, and the observed was like at 6 feet, the groundwater, but it's seasonal, and so I was picking up 2 feet inside the house. It was just where the fittings were and coring, to hold that 18 inches, to try to work with the 18 inches. We're probably gonna have to do some fill over here to make sure the sewer pipe's 18 inches below grade. But it was doable, it was doable with 2-foot groundwater separation, even if it was a trench design, stone, and then the pipe, but it's, whatever the board really wants. It just, just to get that extra foot, I had a pump chamber. So I guess at that point, at one point we were considering an aeration unit, if the board would have considered that, it would be, so gravity flow through that. So, but the
What,
cost, we're getting interesting. But the property owner would, either way, a lot of it's just, that's what I was trying to say up here, 3.5 to 4 foot mound in the backyard using a trench or a leaching field, so a standard Title V design. It'd be like up to 4 feet. It's higher here because this is where the distribution box and piping is, so you're pumping up, and then the top, you gotta cover the tops of the distribution box. So the mound would be higher here. That's why I said, it made a note, a sandbox or a patio or an umbrella garden or something. And then it would drop down here, so you'd be closer to 3.5 feet above the existing grade. And I guess that ultimately is what I'm trying to say, is this orange line is a 5-foot
So the pink
ground.
line, the pink line is with the geomat system?
Yes.
And how far away is that from the?
3 feet from the groundwater.
3-foot groundwater. Yeah.
From the house?
This is a deck, that's 8 feet. The whole field is 23.5 feet away. So the soil absorption system is from the house, the slab. But the grading line, as you grade down.
Yeah.
You're right on the property line.
These are 1-foot contours, so it's
Okay.
really not 2-foot contours. Except for this one here, when I was just pushing them. But this would tie into the existing grade here, and here, this is a little higher here, this is like 6 inches. It's around a big
So
tree.
it ties in better to existing at the front?
Well, this is the front of the house, that's the backyard.
Oh.
The,
I thought you,
But-
okay.
The house in
Yeah.
the front.
the street's here. It dropped
Okay,
off.
I'm
on
sorry.
them. I don't know.
So, but the orange grading is going off the property line?
Right.
It would, so I'd have to, it's doable, so I'd have to pull the system 6 feet this way, which would have put this to here, basically, this, if it was a
to
5-foot.
that line.
Would have been, so you'd be grading into the house.
You have any abutter here at all that?
I notified the abutters, somebody.
Right behind you. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yes, I do. I'm Tommy Bartali. This is my wife Marcy. We own a home at 80 Gray Road.
Did you sign in?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Our biggest concern is that, my understanding is that their system has to be 100 feet from ours. Is that correct?
So where is your house compared to this one?
We're right next door to them.
You have private water, or you have city water?
We have town water.
Yeah, so I think that's a town, all leaching fields have to be 100 feet away from private
If you had a
water.
well.
Wells, from wells.
Private wells, but the septic system.
Can you show us on where your house is? What side of the,
This is like,
Right there.
I don't know, so that's Great Road and that's Picard Lane. So you're either this one
So
or
on-
this one.
Are you on Great Road?
Yes,
Yeah.
right on Great Road.
Over here, so this is the property owner. Oh, and Great Road goes like that, so his lot is something like right there. So,
You'll be okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not gonna hurt you, though.
Well, I also have another question, because we received a letter saying that you would like to purchase some of our land.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, we have the letter here.
Sure, I mean, I don't know anything about that.
So that means you want to come closer and closer to our property.
Yeah, no, I'm
Not with the system,
not with my septic system.
no.
So then what was the...
Maybe somebody, the owner might,
I don't know, it's like her application, I think, she said like something about purchasing land on the bottom there.
you can read it so we can hear.
Well, my signature's not on that, in my handwriting, but this is
That's
a
all big.
request for certified list of butters.
Yeah.
Only needs direct abutters. There was a question if we would have, for what I'm asking for, if we would need to notify the abutters.
Right.
There was a little uncertainty there, so we notified
Because we
the
hadn't
abutters.
received a letter and they needed to have a legal notice done.
And that's just not my handwriting. This one I know about.
Well, they came together from the same owner, same
It was in
envelope.
the same letter.
So unless she wrote it and then took photocopies and sent it to all of us,
You see?
all the butters.
3 feet plus 3
That's strange. Even though
I didn't mail it.
you didn't know nothing about it.
No, they want to purchase the list of abutters.
Oh.
Oh, that was through the town
But it says
office.
100 to 200 feet?
Radius of their property.
Okay.
They just wanted to get the
Okay.
names. Yeah.
You don't have to sell if you don't want
Gotta
to
work
go with
my
it.
eyesight.
Yeah, it's just the way
That's
she
what it
worded
was.
it.
We didn't know what level it
We didn't
was.
have the request letter and they wanted to be on tonight's
Gotcha.
meeting.
They didn't know how far
So-
out they had to notify.
We're, depending on which type of request, is a different amount of abutters
Yeah.
Okay.
notified.
If you get any
So
other
the owner
questions?
just
Yeah, how
asked
close
for
is
them
this really
all,
going to be to our
just in
property?
case.
So,
I see.
so the field is 30 feet away from your property line, and it looks like 25 feet from the property line, well, is the septic tank, and 18, it looks like 18 or 19 feet away from your property line, the pump chamber.
Your proposal is not to have a mound in the backyard.
That's the plan. You know, I mean, the ground, it's just the way the soils were evaluated out there.
Do you have a mound?
No, sir.
No?
Do you have a new system? How old's your system?
I don't remember exactly.
Did you just buy that, or you been there for a while?
We've been there for 6 years now.
Do you have a cesspool or, oh, no, you have to have a Title V.
Yeah, they have.
I didn't,
We have the D-box system they
Yeah.
told us when we purchased the house.
Yeah.
which is pretty much the same topography. It's very level. It's
I
pretty
wonder if
level.
something happened with that testing. You guys don't have a mound. Like, I wonder if the soil, like,
Yeah,
it's too fast.
I wrote a letter to Jim, I use the word variegated colors, bleaching down from the B, you get these color, I mean, when I see coarse grain, it's 14 inches above, you can look for the weeping, you know, and then it's tough. It's a tough call, and you can see similar colors between the Bree horizon and the sea, going into the sea. And I think that was my gut. That's the way I kind of thought. I didn't think, but, you know, so. But notwithstanding all of that, it's a foot to a foot and 1.32 feet difference in reality, so it's pretty close. In this situation, to do a gravity design, I could have come to the board and said, I could do the geotextile, Elgin, or the Presby. I could have cored out, which we're proposing anyways, and I could have raised the internal plumbing, I could have done a gravity flow. That's the difference in the soil evaluation. Jim didn't feel comfortable about it, and I understand that.
I don't think in this instance, with that perk rate as you have it, you're gonna see a 2-foot groundwater offset.
Do you want to
Yeah.
read Jim's notes?
Yeah, so that's right there, it's right there.
Yeah, let's read Jim's
And we
notes
just
here.
got these today, so.
Yeah.
The property owner and her designer have been working on a replacement system for the site. The lot is small and has an elevated water table, but because the soil is sandy, the groundwater offset needs to be 5 feet. In an attempt to minimize the fill needed for the system and its ability to affect the abutting properties, the designer is proposing a reduction in the groundwater offset from 5 to 3 feet using an innovative technology. The DEP approval of this proposed system allows the boards to grant this reduction. The plans you are reviewing this evening have been revised, and I have not had a chance to review them at this point. The plans were revised on 11/25/19. In theory, I don't have an issue with the request, as the area is served by town water, and a 2-foot increase in the offset may negatively,
Impact.
I know, I'm just reading, did I read that right? And a 2-foot increase in the offset may negatively impact the abutters. If you agree to approve the offset, please condition the approval on a final review of the plan and compliance with Title V and Littleton regulations other than the requested reduction.
Well, you're also gonna need the fill within 10 feet variance.
Yeah.
Or
Do
maybe.
you guys
more.
wanna approve the 10-foot variance even though he's not asking for it? Can we do that so he doesn't have to come back?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, I think Jim thinks that.
10 feet as far as the structure or the
Off the
grading?
property, within the property
Property
line.
line.
Any grading,
Fill needed, breakout fill.
it's gonna be real tough.
Is today the 25th? The 26th. So
26.
it says that he has still not had a chance to review this plan at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
No, because when he brought it,
Yeah,
Jim was already gone.
yeah. So I think where we have concerned abutters, I think it's worth continuing it.
What's the fill on the top of the plan, the pink line that just leads right into their property? What happens there?
It's just the existing grade.
Oh, the pink is the existing grade? No.
No, the pink is the
Existing
geomat,
grade.
but it matches existing grade there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This is 100.4.
Oh, so
It's a
that's the,
spike. It's
so are they a lot lower than you right now?
No, it's just,
Is it flat now, or?
I could have closed, what I did over here is I
You could-
closed
yeah, you
it,
could've
I just had
closed
a
it, right.
line, but
Okay.
I could
Yep.
have circled it.
Got it.
So I was trying to show the board,
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
it's just, I could have, because this was controlling on the contours to get down to
Mhm.
this 99, and, well, that was a higher elevation, so if there's no grading, I
Within
could
10
spin,
feet.
I may be able to spin that. It's gonna be tough, though.
Hmm.
Because the
I would
house
almost-
is not moving, this is a setback, that's 10, it's like,
I-
I've been playing with it.
Are those the only test holes they dug?
What are those?
There's 2 test pits here.
That's it?
That's it. This would have been, so
Yeah.
the property owner says, if I don't, can we put it over here? And I just don't see it, even if they did, this is available area.
I feel like if you can get some
Couldn't you
decent
have to go with
soil, and,
that
I'm sure
corner?
it's great.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I could do it could be a long trench.
Almost everybody that has a rebuild has a mound, it's
But anyway.
Yeah.
pretty common.
It
now.
is, and that'll look good, I think, in the backyard with the 3-foot groundwater separation. Innovative technology, I think play the grading a little bit. It'll be a little elevated here, or if we spin it here, but with the 10-foot setback, everything gets, I think, I don't know, it's gonna be hard to avoid the grading and the 10-foot setback, to be quite honest.
It seems like the Jim does, our agent has no problem, even though he didn't have that plan done. I think we can squeeze, I think it'll be all right. It's not gonna impact the Ampara, so you should be happy. You lived there 6 years, right? Septic system has to be cleaned up every 2 years, that way you don't have no problem. Good. So you don't have to come back here.
Okay,
I think I'll make a
so,
motion to approve it.
So are we allowed to add that he needs a variance for the 10 feet, or is he gonna have to come back and ask us for that again? Because it wasn't in a public notice or anything.
Right.
Are you crunched for time? Is this a sale,
I
or is
think we're
this?
gonna have to continue.
No, I think the groundwater separation's the more important one, so I can complete the design, I can spin,
Okay, yeah.
I could try my best to avoid
To avoid the,
grading.
yeah, right.
I suppose we could try to put some stones, so it's not technically a wall. It's
So Jimmy has no problem.
It's gonna be tough. It's just, I certainly don't mind coming back asking for a variance in the future within that 10-foot setback. It's gonna be hard to avoid it.
If you could just provide the design to the agent,
Yep.
but I,
No, the letter that's sent out is generic, so it's
Oh.
not a specific,
Okay.
variance specific.
genetic.
So it, that part's not important. It's not like CBA.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the groundwater offset from 5 to 3, and if you want to, and I could also include in that motion to approve the grading within 10 feet of a lot line, if required.
I'd
think
like
it's
to actually
necess-
see
will be.
him try and tweak it a little bit more, if he can. I know it's not gonna be easy, because
Yeah.
the pits are gonna be, groundwater's gonna be even higher with the way the weather's been. Unless you can just
Could
use.
spin
can you
it,
just
make
use-
it longer.
You don't have to
Yeah.
redo the
It's just
test
where the
pits
modules are,
to
though,
change the
using it.
design,
They're in
right?
2-foot increments in there.
Should try.
So I'll just make a motion then to approve the groundwater offset from 5 feet to 3 feet, and we'll see you later.
We'll see if I can make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna continue it.
Well, do you want to approve that, so he can,
I mean, he's gonna come back either way.
but if he knows he gets the 2 feet off, then he can.
I may be able, I'm not saying I can, I may not be, I may be able to
All
design
right.
something
All
not
right.
within 10 feet of the property line, including the finished grading,
Okay,
What's
so
the
then we
10
but I'll
can,
know shortly.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, what is the 10-foot variance or 5, whatever it is gonna be? Like, is that off both property lines, like ours and theirs? Or what is that, exactly does that mean, and how is that gonna look for us or for the property in general?
So the regulation states there should be no fill from a septic system within 10 feet of the property line. So it should be 10 feet away from your property line is where the fill should end. In some instances, on tight lots and poor soil, then they have to encroach a little bit. Sometimes we grant that variance, but we try not to.
I'll make a motion to continue.
Second that. Yeah, I
Second.
think we ought to,
All in favor to continue 3
Aye.
Pickard Lane? Aye. Gina?
I don't see why continue. If he's gonna bring the design to Jim, and then he gets the approval, we approve it, but he will get the permit. Why make him come back here? He's gonna
have to come
try
back
to
in.
do whatever he can. I don't know why.
Okay, did we have 3 ayes?
You had 3 ayes.
Yep.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So who's a nay? Kevin and Gina. Correct? So we'll see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
So that would be
Thanksgiving anyways.
at
Make sure you get the design to this.
7:20
before we come.
on December 10th.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks for coming in. Sure.
Anytime.
Thank you for coming.
7:20 next, in 2 weeks at 7:20.
Good night.
Okay, 604 Newtown Road. I told you we might be later.
Wasn't enough. Designer and civil engineer have a similar meeting up in town, I believe. So the best I can do is, as the homeowner, is try and walk through what you've seen in the plans and what I'm aware of.
Yeah, I read his letter. I don't know if you guys did, but, yeah.
So, I mean, I could put this up and
Yep.
do my best to talk it through.
You guys the ones with the dumpster in your driveway?
Yes. So we're down on 604 Newtown Road. We're right by the conservation area, right by Fort Pond. So we're literally around the corner from the
Yeah.
first people you just talked to. So our septic system failed. We had we were having it pumped out, and essentially at that point it's like, this is done. And so quickly got Civil Solutions involved. I talked to a number of engineers. These guys came in, and I was very impressed with what they were trying to come up with. So they came in and did a lot of site survey. There's some test digs they did to look at the back here. The front is really difficult to put anything there, given there's just granite ledge everywhere, and you would have to start blasting that. And there really isn't much clearance on the front of the house to put anything there. And if you actually look at our neighbors across the road, at, I can't remember what that is, but it's, I want to say 601, yeah. They have a raised system at the back that basically they're on the same granite ledge that we're on, and so they have a very high raised system at the back of their lot. And here he is. I bought you some time.
Opening act.
He's gonna deduct. I figured maybe you'd be done. He's gonna deduct your pay.
I know, that's why I figured I'd drive over, I won't get paid, right?
You made it just in
Didn't bring the
time.
cards, though.
No.
There you go.
Oh, that's an excuse. That's a good excuse. You were working.
I was over in Tingsboro. There's no good way to get from there to
I
here.
hear it started at T, so I'll take this one.
He was doing a nice presentation.
That's what I was figuring, I thought I'd
good.
see him on the way out.
You might want to hire him.
No such luck. And we like his accent, too. No
I
offense.
could just sit down and let him go.
I know. Just let him
You don't mind
talk.
us keep talking, you'll be here until midnight.
Yeah, you did a good job.
He was saying nice things about you, though.
You can take this off.
And we have to ask him to sign in too, right? Yeah, okay.
Let him sign in later when he goes. That's it.
You got color on yours.
Yeah, he likes color.
Making a very good impression, yeah.
Just toss it to me if you need,
You keep talking. So I'm Kevin Ritchie, I'm from Civil Solutions. You know Grant and his wife, I think. So we've got a plan, he's got a failed septic system, he's down on Newtown Road. He's got some wetlands down the side, got some ledge outcroppings in the front. He's on town water. He's got an existing cesspool, which I believe is backing up or overflowing.
It's got down to, yeah.
Then there's another, it's a little tank in the back and some kind of leach field of some sort down in the garden area here. So we're proposing to use a Presby. So we're asking for 3 variances. One is we're using the Presby, we're asking for approval to use the 3-foot groundwater offset with the Presby. It was too wet to run a perk test, so we're asking to use the sieve analysis. And then we're using a poly liner Just on the back side here, just to keep the fill from spreading out into the buffer zone any further. So we did notify the abutters. We're not using it to keep the fill on the lot, we're just using it to keep it from extending too far out.
Retaining wall there too? or-
No retaining wall, so it's
Is
just
that
the...
yellow?
Yeah, no, so that's the hay bale line.
Oh, okay.
So we've got the wetlands here. There is a floodplain, kind of cuts through here, so that's really what we're trying to keep the fill out of the floodplain.
So what's the distance to the floodplain? Whoops.
So we're 76 feet to the wetlands. To the floodplain,
In the back there where the
yeah, I'm
line...
just looking, trying to figure out where it's closest. From the leaching area to the floodplain's roughly 15 feet. Right in this area here, so it's pretty much across the, it's pretty much
Yeah.
parallels the floodplain here.
It's still a significant downgrade even at that point, so there's quite a way for what would come up when we get to that point.
Yeah, no, his house is, I don't know, is there a 10-foot drop from, it's rough,
Yeah,
it's about 8 to 10 feet from where the house sits down to the, is the 90 here. It's close to a 10-foot drop.
What did the sieve come back as?
I want to say it was a class 1, so it would have been probably a loamy sand. Been a loam. They come back as a class 1.
That's like 30.
I think it's 10.
Oh, 10.
I think it's the lot.
It's just shy of an acre. Just a little under an acre.
Got any room?
It's really the ledge in the front yard.
Yeah,
We did the one across the street. That one had a lot of ledge in the front yard as well, in the wetlands.
you gotta be 100 feet, you know it. 100 feet from the wetland.
No, we're 76 feet.
Oh, you already had a,
We haven't been, we've filed with conservation, but we have not been before them yet.
okay.
That's next Monday, we're seeing that.
Are you able to get further
Think
from the
you're gonna get it?
floodplain?
We got the test holes kind of down here in the low area before we were doing the testing as the wetlands were being flagged, so
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
otherwise we'd have to go up the hill, which would pick the thing up that much further. So
you
we're
might
kind of
hit a
right
wall.
at the toe of the slope.
Okay.
Right,
Try to blend it in with the slope as much as we can.
right.
May I read Jim's comments?
Yeah, please.
604 Newtown Road, the existing system for this lot is in failure. Soil testing was conducted and an area was found to place a system. The lot has the following constraints: high seasonal water table at 2 feet, wetlands and ledge in the front yard. The applicant has presented a plan with a Presby leaching area, but because of the site constraints, it will need local upgrade approvals from Title V, reduction of the groundwater offset 4 feet to 3 feet, and the use of sieve analysis in lieu of a perk test. Soil was too wet. The design also includes a poly barrier to minimize breakout fill in order to keep it out of the 50-foot buffer of the wetlands. The area is served by town water, and the proposed leaching area will have a 3-foot offset to the water table. I don't see a problem granting this request.
Okay, someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the system as presented.
I'll second it.
Second it. You
Okay,
beat me
Alan.
to it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much.
Say a few words, will you, Grant?
Well, I couldn't have done it without my good friend.
Do a tap dance.
All right,
Thank you.
Good luck.
Have a nice
anything else to
Thanksgiving.
talk about, or shall we motion to adjourn?
Jackie, make a motion.
Make a motion to adjourn. Do we have anything else we need to
Second.
talk about?
Just sign, oh, I'm sorry, don't finish. I need your signatures on what you just voted. Oh, wait, let me just make, oh, no, Clifford's not there.
Do you owe the town any money?
That's what I was just thinking. I wasn't gonna say
Yeah, I
anything yet.
need to get
I think he
Jim's.
does owe you probably for the permit.
And I need Jim's signatures anyway.
Okay. So here's your permit.
You can't
take it with you.
No, this is,
You gotta
This is
get it
not
cash.
No, that's not his.
There's two there. Are there not two?
oh,
I accidentally give them to you before you vote.
You got his.
So you can come down, you can probably come down and pick it up here
The
and bring
agenda,
you a couple of
the
checks.
agenda goes out?
Yes,
Do I?
but
No,
Jim won't be back to sign them till
Unless it's like-
Tuesday,
Get the dumpster
so
front out?
after Tuesday.
I drive
afternoon.
all over town anyway.
And last time there was those people with the rock wall.
I'm
and
across
they're all
the
like,
hall
okay.
here.
It's like, have you been to
So
the
we're here on
property?
Monday,
Like,
town.
no,
Yeah.
we don't go on people's, I don't
Yeah,
go
you
on
can't
people's
go.
property.
All right,
Take
thank
it
you.
easy. Have a good
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Bye.
too.
you too.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
After everyone signs, thank you.
Motion to adjourn? Anybody?
I'll second that.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. You have a...